welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us. Today we are going to be doing Starbrawl number 2. It's going to be number 2 here. It's going to be Hendralisk versus Crank. Now we're currently setting everything up with the players, so I really appreciate the patience. We're going to get probably started here in the next about 5 minutes. Let's jump into StarCraft and see how our players are doing.
If you guys have any questions or anything, please shoot us a message on Twitter at Team Banished. We'll be glad to answer some Twitter questions or chat questions if you guys have any questions while we set this up.
Yeah, you should be able to see our stuff scrolling in the bottom left there, or bottom right there.
All right.
Go ahead and get it taken care of with the players. While you're doing that, I'd just like to say, everybody, if you can, please subscribe, please donate. It really helps us out, really helps the players out. We're going to be getting a wish list started for things such as like a new microphone and whatnot. How are the players coming?
Let's go ahead and jump back in. We should be setting up the first game here. Should be beginning momentarily.
And what map did we say we're going to be doing?
First map is King Sejong Station.
Alright. Let's go ahead and invite our players here.
And please, if you guys can, go on Twitter and follow us. We'd be really happy to get some more followers there. We'd really appreciate it.
Yeah, please guys, just to plug our channel one more time, like he's saying, go to our Twitter and subscribe. It really helps us, put these on monthly and keep making additional content. Now, are we currently shift tilde or are we just tilde?
We're still on camera.
Okay. All right. We're going to invite our players. All right, go ahead and you're going to need to set yourself up. You can't invite them yet. You have to set them. There you go.
Should be beginning here momentarily, guys. Just waiting on Hendralisk here to join, and we should be ready to start here any minute. There is a donations button down below if you guys decide that you guys want to donate.
Yeah, it actually just links to our PayPal, so it makes it a little bit easier. So I forgot to look what the final standing was, but do you remember on the Team Liquid, what did the people vote? Wasn't it like 39 to 13?
It was clearly almost 70% of the community that voted for Crank to win this, and a good 29-30% voted for Hendralisk. Just waiting on Hendralisk here to join the game.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I was kind of surprised to see such a heavy favor in Crank's Crank side, but I was glad to see so many people voting and out there. He joined. Ready.
All right.
We're just waiting for the ready from Crank.
We want to make sure that we're completely ready. We don't want to start without anyone. Maybe took a bathroom break or went and got a drink.
Yeah. Can you set the game privacy for us? I'm not sure which one he's wanting there.
No build order.
Or no match history. No build order. Okay. And then Hendralisk, he said he's ready.
All right, I think we're ready. All right, everyone, this is the first game in Starbrawl number 2. It's going to be between, if you are just tuning in, Complexity's Hendralisk and Axiom's Crank. Booting up right now into King Sejong Station.
All right, yep, King Sejong, Hendralisk versus Crank. This is going to be our game number 1. Nice.
We're seeing some support in the chat for Hendralisk. We definitely would like to see more of your guys' support. This is about the players. Everything that we do is about the community and about the players.
All right, so, and everybody, if you could, everybody go ahead and just shout out, share our stream right now. Let's get everyone joined in, get everyone supporting the players as we go into game number 1 in this best of 5.
All right. So up here in the top left, we have the red Protoss from Axiom Esports. It is Crank.
Looking good. Looking good. Now in the bottom right, we have our challenger. This is going to be the, what is that, teal blue CoL.Hendralisk. Now, as I was saying, our votes online on Team Liquid is saying that we believe, the players are saying that they believe Crank is going to win. I'm hoping CoL.Hendralisk shows a little bit of an upset here. What about you?
Personally, I am a huge fan of Crank, but I always root for the underdog. So I would be really exciting to see CoL.Hendralisk take a couple maps. If he could win, I would be very impressed.
Yeah, for sure. Can we go ahead and get our production tab up? I'd like to see how we're looking there. Now, what do you think we're going to see on this map out of both players? I mean, King Sejong Station's a pretty small map.
Well, one thing I do know is in the last Starbrawl against Masa, Crank played with a very early Nexus, and it looks like that's probably what Crank's going to do. It looks like he's going Nexus first.
Okay, yeah, out of CoL.Hendralisk, I'm assuming we're probably going to see some kind of hatch first, because it's pretty hard for a Protoss to abuse your hatch first unless they cannon rush. So we're going to see how everything goes here. Now, Crank did go Forge first, so he could possibly be in a position to cannon rush if he wanted to.
Crank, he's not usually the one to do a little cannon rush, but
I mean, against a hatch first, there's always that opportunity.
Definitely a possibility. I don't foresee it being impossible. As of right now, nothing really unusual out of both players.
Yeah, it looks like CoL.Hendralisk is going for a little bit of a gasless opening currently. You know, he hasn't gotten his pool up yet. I'm expecting to see his pool go down here really soon, though.
Oh, and it looks like you called it. Cannon rush.
There's the cannon rush. It's going to be seen by that Overlord, so he's going to be able to get vision on it. It's just going to be how he handles it that's the problem.
CoL.Hendralisk is going to pull a few drones here. He's not really sure yet if it's a fake or not, because I don't think he's seen the Forge yet. It looks like his Overlord is just now heading into Crank's natural here. Hasn't seen it yet.
Yeah, but he sees the cannons dropping. Is he going to cancel his natural? That's the question.
It's looking like that could be a possibility here. This hatchery may go down.
Oh man, game 1 of Starbrawl. We've started it off with a little bit of cheese. But he did cancel it. He's taking his third now as his natural, so he's not really going to let it do too much damage to him.
CoL.Hendralisk is going to expand away from the cannon rush, allowing Crank the control of his natural expansion.
The control is probably not going to last too long. We probably won't see Crank build anything else there, so he's probably not going to go over there and build additional cannons. But it is just really annoying. But I like what CoL.Hendralisk is doing here. He's actually taking his fourth in position of his natural.
Very interesting placement for the third hatch. It could be a point of interest for when Crank decides to move out, and it could be a point where CoL.Hendralisk may find himself defending the most. Very interesting decision out of CoL.Hendralisk.
Yeah, I like that position though, because if he's able to secure and defend it early, it kind of gives him a very easy fourth at his natural and a very easy fifth over there on the very left-hand side. So I like what he's doing, and I like what the position it puts him in.
Zerglings are working on the rocks here. Nothing too exciting about that.
Yeah, he knows he's not going to be able to get in the front with these cannons going down.
Cybernetics core dropping. Lots of drones being transferred to the third of CoL.Hendralisk.
Or actually, I guess that's still the second, huh? Them cannon rushes, they'll get you, I was telling you.
Cybercore about to finish up here for Crank. Haven't really seen too much about what Crank's going to decide to do here as far as his build goes. He's taken both of his gases in his main base, so I'm thinking that this could be maybe Blinkstalker Colossus. We are seeing him do that a lot.
We see a starport just going down right there. So it's going to be some kind of starport tech. Do you think he's going to build an Oracle out of that first, or?
I personally feel like we are going to see Oracle first here. There are no Spore Crawlers in any of the bases, and CoL.Hendralisk, I don't even think he has an evolution chamber yet.
Yeah.
No evolution chamber, but both gases now dropping for CoL.Hendralisk.
Yeah, on tier 1, he's definitely going to be stuck not being able to shoot back at any kind of air that comes across. So I would be interested to see if this is an Oracle that gets built and how much damage it's going to do.
Mothership Core is going to come over here and poke away at these Zerglings. So far, Crank has yet to take both of his gases in his natural expansion, so he doesn't really have all the gas in the world to devote to this.
I want to look here. I want to look. What has Now it looks like Hendralisk hasn't seen that starport, has he?
No, I don't believe he.
Yep, oh yeah,
he
did see it going down. Okay, he did see it going down. So that's really important. I guess let's go ahead and bring everyone's view back up here. So Hendralisk does know there was a starport going down. Is he going to be able to react correctly? He's not putting any kind of spores in his line or anything?
I still don't believe he's even started an evolution chamber yet. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe he forgot it. Nope, just dropped it now. So these spores are going to be kind of clinch.
Well, they're coming in right now. He's building his spore right there. He's building spores in every line right now. But, I mean, we do see it sweeping across there. We do see that Oracle making his way into the main.
In comes the Oracle. How many units will fall here? How many workers can Crank focus down here with this Oracle? Spore Crawler is about to finish along with the Queen. Don't foresee any more than maybe 2 or 3 drones.
Yeah, Crank didn't get too much there. But I like the way that Crank is expanding behind this. He's basically saying, you know, hey, I'm going to keep you at home with this harass while I drop my gateways and drop my third. So if Hendralisk doesn't kind of go over there and put a stop to this, he might be seeing a very, very strong mid to late game out of Crank.
Crank is going a very strong 3 base gateway build. He just now dropped his Twilight Council in his natural expansion. Not really sure what he's deciding to go late game yet. He hasn't really revealed that much to us yet. He's not really pumping anything out of the Stargate. It looks like
he's not doing anything fancy with the upgrades either. Just getting a +1 upgrade. Now out of Hendralisk, let's look up there. We actually see he's getting +1/+1 ground melee upgrade. So we're probably going to see him switch into I would say Mutas. It's very rare that you would upgrade your Lings if you're not going to go Mutas eventually.
I have to agree with that statement. Down comes the infestation pit for Hendralisk, so we're probably going to see Hive here
Yeah, and there's also a Spire that went down as well. Where did that Spire go down? Can we go ahead and get a click on that? Okay, so he's hiding it over here to where his third kind of natural was, along with his Roach Warren. You know, I'm going to be really excited when I see these Mutas pop, see how much damage they can actually do.
Crank is coming out here with a couple sentries, and his Oracle here is going to start picking away at creep.
Oh, that Queen's going down.
Yeah, this Queen actually is going to get away for now.
I'm surprised. I didn't think that Queen
would
get... Oh, no, Queen, run!
Oh, and it gets force field and crushed.
But, okay, so our hero Queen of the day didn't quite make it.
Lots of Zealots coming in here into the main base, but Zerglings and Roaches easily take care of it.
Yeah, but that brings up a good point. I really wouldn't like Zealots to just be able to be warped in at my natural hut right there. I think he's finally seeing that he's going to get rid of it.
Angel's going to come down here and take out this cannon and a couple pylons
Well,
here.
simultaneously, he's sending a couple Lings to see where the army of Crank is. He doesn't want to be caught out of place here. That's really good.
So let's go ahead and look here at Hendralisk's vision here for a second. He's currently looking at his army, and he's taking out the pylon and cannon in his natural.
Yeah.
So at the moment, he's just focusing on building his army. Getting Locust upgrades, so we're probably going to see some Swarmos here in a second.
Looks like that Oracle is that swinging back in through, yeah. Now at this point, since there are spore crawlers and queens in every line, it's going to be very, very difficult for that Oracle to do any damage. But he can still go in there and still get all that scouting information, which is very important.
Mutalisk about to complete here any second.
Now Blink and +2 are finishing for Crank right now. How do you think that's going to affect those Mutalisks? I think those Mutas might have a hard time getting in there.
It is a possibility that the Mutas may do 0 damage here, considering Crank is sitting on quite a bit of Blink Stalkers right now. Mutalisk heading now. He may hit the main first and then hit the natural, or he's going to go right into the main. I don't foresee a lot of damage coming from this, but meanwhile, Crank is flying some hallucinations here, so he's going to get a scout definitely of what's going on.
But there is a drop going on.
Warping in the main base with all these Zealots, and he's got a few swarm hosts here, but I just don't think that's enough.
Oh man, now we see the army of Hendralisk is coming back through the... Oh, it has to go all the way through the 4th. Oh no.
It's going to focus down one of the evolution chambers, and it's going to focus down the second one here. Zerglings are going to get in here and finish this off, though.
Luckily, nothing's researching currently. I'm not sure if he canceled anything or... You know, what was going on there, I might have missed it. But
maybe it would have been a better idea to go for the infestation pit, in my opinion.
Possibly that could have helped him, but still, I think that did a good amount of damage. I really do. I think that was a healthy amount of damage for those Zealots.
Warp Prism coming up here to this north position. He's going to warp in probably a couple Zealots and then fly towards Hindralisk's natural expansion or main base. Lots of action going on right now. Force fields dropping down, keeping the Locust from engaging into Crank's army while he simultaneously takes down the rocks.
Yeah, and I also like his observer position right there. I like how it kind of puts it in a good prime location to see anything that kind of tries to attack him up that ramp.
So far, no fourth base out of Crank. He's still only on 3 bases.
But at this point now, let's look at the supply cap. If you look, Crank is supply capped right now at 150, 150. But Hendralisk is actually 200 of 200 supply, so we're going to see Hendralisk really wanting to start to trade now. You know, kind of trade that 200, 200 supply, turn it back into an army. Trade it, turn it into an army. But there are two, oh my goodness, there are two Colossi in this army. I don't know how well it's going to stand up.
Yeah, Crank's going to take his 4th base right now, and I just feel like Hindralisk, even though he's got this massive Zerglings and Roaches, he doesn't really have what it takes to take on the Colossus Blinkstalker force.
Yeah, but I do like this positioning on these swarm hosts here. He's kind of slowly inching his way onto Crank's side of the map. But I really feel like he needs to get another queen out there. Oh man, and there's a drop going on in the main. It's just doing so much damage.
These Zealots are going to focus down this hatchery. But lots of Zerglings coming in here.
Oh, but they're not getting surrounds. This is just awful.
And now he's funneling through these 2 choke points here next to the hatchery. Crank could have done a little bit more damage, I feel. But yeah, overall, it puts Crank in a position where he can now move his army out onto the map.
Right in there. He's going after the swarm host.
All these lings and swarm hosts and roaches are going to get on top of these stalkers. Crank blinks away.
Oh, now the mutas are targeting the sentries, but those force fields.
Excellent force fields out of Crank. Now the swarm hosts have no option but to flee away, and now tons of lings and roaches. But Hindralisk still sits at a pretty healthy supply advantage, 176.
Don't lose that queen.
To 177 of Crank. He was just at about 150 supply, and then he jumped up.
Now we see another drop going right in the main. Oh my goodness, this is just all day long Crank is doing these drops.
Tons of Zealots in Hindralisk's main base.
Oh, GG.
GG. Crank
GG.
takes
All drops.
game number 1.
Wow. Good game, guys. Good game. That was just simply amazing. Alright, so good game, well played to our players. Good game, well played to our players. That was amazing. Simply amazing.
So that was game number 1, and Crank takes it pretty convincingly. Please, if you guys haven't already, please go to our Twitter page and follow us at Team Banished. There are donations below. Every cent that you donate goes to Crank and Hindralisk for tonight's match. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break while we set up the next game. Please, if you have any questions or any comments, please feel free to voice them.
Yeah, it'll be about, it'll give us about 5 to 10 minutes to start the next game. And if you haven't already, please guys, go share our stream. Go on your Twitter, go on your Facebook. Just say, hey guys, check out Hendrilisk and Crank playing and go support them. And link us. We really appreciate it. So we're going to be on a break. We'll be right back. Hey everyone, welcome back. We're just getting everything finalized, started for the second game. It is going to be on Overgrowth. There is one thing we want to make a change of here. Let's go ahead and bring that up. Now up at the top, we're going to change our score here.
Yeah, we definitely want to make sure you guys get the right score.
Now, in case anyone's just joining us or didn't know, this is a best of 5. There we go. Up at the top, we got Crank 1, Hendralisk 0 wins so far. Let's go ahead and check on our players, see if they're ready to go. We should be in our game lobby already.
Yep. Let's just make sure both players are ready before we begin.
Yeah, I see Hendralisk has Terran selected there.
Maybe he's pulling a last-minute Scarlet and gonna switch races.
Maybe. I mean,
there's no rule against it.
I've just never heard of a Marine Dralisk. That's all. All right, everybody. Yeah, we're just waiting for our players, making sure everybody's ready. Everyone, once again, sorry if you're getting tired of hearing it, but please follow us on Twitter, Twitch, our YouTube if you can, and just guys, if you can, just share a link to our thread. We'd love to have more people supporting our players, and love to put these on more often.
Looks like both players are ready. We're gonna go and get this game started for you guys. Game number 2, Starbrawl number 2.
Terran versus Protoss.
Zerg versus, well, no, actually, it looks like Hendralisk still has Terran selected.
Terran versus Protoss.
So, I'm not sure if this is on purpose or if this is a mistake.
I don't know. He said he's ready. I mean, we're gonna go into it, but
there's no rule against it.
Yeah.
So unless it looks like Hendralisk is a little surprised.
Okay. So. We're not going to count that against them. I think that would be kind of unfair to count that against the players. But, yeah, we were just as confused. We're like, what the heck?
Shouldn't take no more than about a minute here to just recreate this.
I thought that was the new meta. Zerg doesn't win, go Terran. Isn't that the...
I really don't feel like a Zerg, if he's going to switch race, he's going to switch to Terran. I just don't feel like Marines, Hellions, and stuff like that are very Zerg friendly.
I just know as a Zerg player myself, I feel bad when I play against a Terran. Okay.
All right, it looks like we are ready here.
Okay, let's get the ready from Crank. Make sure. Okay, we're good.
All right, we're good to go. All right, one more try here. Game number 2 for Starbrawl number 2.
And to clarify, everybody, this time it's going to be a ZVP. A ZVP, Zerg versus Protoss, so shouldn't be anything out of the ordinary here.
While this game is loading up, I want to personally thank all 62 of you for tuning in tonight. We appreciate every one of you for tuning in. This is all about Crank and Hendralisk. So go on Twitter and let's get some people in here. Let's get support for these players.
Yeah, definitely let's get support for the players. If you could, go ahead and let's introduce our players in the bottom left here. Who is this?
All right, so in the bottom left, we have the blue Protoss for Axiom Esports. It is Crank.
All right, so current champion 1-0 so far, Crank. In the top right, let's take a look at our Zerg player. We have Hendralisk. Now, he is down 1 game because we did see that, kind of cheesy cannon rush out of Crank last game. What do you think he's going to do in this game?
I really can't guess. Crank can go for something aggressive or he can open up really greedy. So it's really up to Crank what he wants to do.
Now, Crank, it looks like he's appearing to be going for a Forge Fast Expand at first. The way that he put his pylon out there. So if I had to guess, I'm seeing a Forge Fast Expand. Do you think Hendralisk is going to go hatchery first again in this game?
He may. It would be really, it'd be a big risk if Hendralisk went hatch first.
Yeah, now, you know my style, and when I play, I almost always go hatchery first. But I veto these maps. I veto these 2-player maps for a reason. For a reason, Morbox. The reason I do that is because I can get away with hatchery first on the bigger maps. These small maps have a way of getting you punished if you do that. Now we see Hendralisk going for a 13 pool here. So, no hatch first. That answers our question. 13 pool. Do you think he's going to do something aggressive with it?
I definitely think he's going to do that. He knows that Crank is probably going to open with a Forge Fast Expand again. So it's an opportunity for Hendralisk to get some lings into maybe Crank's main base, do a little bit of damage, take out some workers. Yeah. Slow down the build of Crank.
Yeah, so we do see that Forge Fast Expand coming like we were talking about earlier, so nothing out of the ordinary here. Now he's going to drop his expansion. He's looking around for any kind of cannons with that drone.
Hindralisk tried to hide a drone there, but it looks like he's going to be able to expand there anyway. Crank may decide to throw down a cannon there.
Okay, now that pool is finished. Crank did see it, so Crank knows that the pool is there. Yeah, he's really not going to be able to get too much done with cannons at this point. I feel the lings that are just probably going to be coming out here.
Crank's going to do it anyway. Game 2, Crank decides to do another cannon rush. So fans of cannon rushes, if you are here, you're going to be very happy. Because he's throwing down 4 cannons.
Oh, man. Now, we're going to see a cancel on most of them, I'm sure, but holy cow, that's so many cannons.
A lot of resources put into this cannon rush for Crank. If this goes up, he's canceling a few.
Yeah, but he's got one built here. That's so many cannons. The lings are flooding in, but the 2 cannons finished.
This is hilarious. Tons of cannons going down into Hindralisk's natural expansion, pulling about half the drones. He's got a couple drones here. So he's not completely taking away his ability to mine. It looks like maybe 1 or 2 cannons may complete, but the early spawning pool is really going to help take out a lot of these cannons. No, GG. I guess it just did too much damage.
GG, well played. I was just watching that in amazement. The cannon rushes are real, man. That is all I can say.
The cannon rushes are real. You heard it here, folks. Cannon Rush City here at AxCrank. 2 games. Cannon rushes on both maps.
Well, let's see. What is our next map here? What is our next map here? Please tell me it is Deadwing, or tell me that it's some big map here.
Next map is Merry-Go-Round.
Merry-Go-Round. Okay. I can see that.
Gonna go ahead and get the next game set up for you guys. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
Yes, thank you everyone. Right now it is 2-0, Crank's in the lead, but we're still going to be going into game 3 here. Please everyone share our Twitch, please share the channel. Let's get as many people in here as we can to support our players. So the cannon rushes, man. The cannon rushes. I don't know what he could have done to prevent it better. I think he maybe should have just canceled his natural instead of trying to defend it.
He maybe could have went for a 10 pool instead of a 13 pool and opened a little bit more aggressively. It would have prevented the probe from getting down all the cannons and the pylon in his natural expansion.
That is true, but I know as a third player myself, I hate 10 pooling. You know, it's just something I don't even enjoy doing. Because, you know, if depending on how the situation goes, you could just waste your advantage there.
So if you guys haven't heard, we are Team Banished. This is Tebow, and I'm Morvox. And we're just community casters from Florida. And we want to make an impact on the scene in a positive way. We want you guys to get behind these players and support them. We want to contribute to esports. So please, if you see below, there's a donations. If you can donate even $1, that dollar goes to Crank or Hindralisk. It supports the scene. So everything that you donate, we greatly appreciate it.
Yeah. If you can't donate, subscribe. If you can't subscribe,
follow us on Twitter.
Follow us. Just let's get people in here. Let's get people supporting our players. You know, we're taking a quick break right here. You know, I just want to take a look. How many people do we have in our Twitch here right now? Sitting at a healthy 60, almost 70 people. So thank you, everybody. You know, this one goes out to you guys. We really appreciate it.
So we'll be right back in about 3 minutes with the next game. So please follow us on Twitter. We'd appreciate it.
we are getting everything started again for our next game. This is going to be on merry-go-round. Now I do see we have quite a bit of chatter in the chat going on down there, guys. The question was, can someone in the lower leagues benefit from coaching from a pro like Crank? The answer to that, I believe, personally, I believe that's yes. I believe anyone can benefit from coaching at any time. How do you feel with that?
Crank is an amazing coach. If you have the money to spend and you're a Protoss player and you want coaching, I don't care if you're Copper League. Do it. And for once in your life, you can actually say, I took coaching from Crank. And it supports Crank. So do it. Don't just ask everyone, just do it. It supports the esports scene. It supports us as a whole. It's an amazing thing to do, to have pro players who want to coach, lower league players.
Yeah. And now the other question was, do we coach? As we're saying, we do free reviews of any replays. So if you want to get a hold of us via email or like our Twitch or Twitter, we will watch your replays. We can help you with some probably minor coaching up until Platinum League. We can't really, on a personal, we're not pros. We can't get you past Platinum.
We're definitely not pros. We drink beer and we play StarCraft.
Yeah, but we can definitely help, get you lower league people up to par, really playing the game on a gold platinum level. We can help with that. Just feel free to message us. Let's check on our players. Let's see how they're doing. We were getting the game set up last time we looked. Sometimes I feel like a Copper League. That's funny. Okay. Please change game privacy. And alright, so now let's just make sure they're ready, and we should be able to go into our games.
Alright, so it looks like Hendralisk is ready, just waiting on Crank. He should be here any second.
Yeah.
Pretty sure
now
he's
guys,
waiting on us.
Now guys, we are just waiting for Crank to say he's ready. I do want to point this out here. If you look at the bottom of our screen, you're going to see a channel called Team Banished. This is open and available for you guys to join. That means that whenever we have our pro players come in through here, you can possibly see them, possibly ask them questions. So definitely, guys, join our channel, Team Banished. Whenever we do these show matches, make sure you're in here, and you'll get a chance to talk with us and the players, possibly. Everyone's ready, though. We can go ahead and jump in.
All right, so let's go ahead and start the third game now, which could be the final game in the series.
Yes, that is true. Crank did 3-0 in our last Starbrawl series. In our Starbrawl #1, he 3-0'd. I don't know what to expect here. Are we going to see another 3-0 out of Crank? All cannon rush all day.
The hype is real. Crank may go 6-0 in 2 Starbrawl events, not losing a single map. How many of those were cannon rushes?
Now, I know in his first series, the cannon rushes, they didn't really happen. But, against a Zerg, Crank's really flexing his muscles. I love that first gang, though. I love the drops. I'm excited to see what's going to happen here. Let's take a look at our production and see where we're going.
In the top left, we have the blue Protoss from Axiom Esports. He is Crank.
That's Crank right there. In the bottom middle position, we do have our teal blue Zerg. This is Hendralisk. He is behind. This is 2-0 to Crank. We're hoping to see a big game.
All right. Just want to make sure that we do get the correct score there for you guys. Just give us 1 second.
Okay, yeah, we're going to go ahead and correct this score. If you see a minor pause in the stream, we do apologize. We're just correcting the score at the top.
All right, should be back in here any second. Nothing abnormal happening yet, so you guys haven't missed anything.
Okay, there we go. Now, are we going to see... I'm just going to go ahead and assume now we're not going to see a Forge Fast expand out of Crank. Look at the position of his pylon. I think that tells us what we need to know. No Forge Fast expand in this case.
Crank could open a little safer here. He may decide to go Gateway, and then maybe Forge, and then Nexus.
He's going Gateway first. Now, Hendralisk, this is one of the maps that I foresee a hatch first possibly being, a good thing. But no, we're actually seeing he went gas first at 12, and then either a 12 or a 13 pool. So, oh man, I expect to see some heavy lings coming in here.
This is Hendralisk's last chance to get 1 win here in Starbrawl #2. And it looks like he's going to open up a little aggressive, deciding to go for the gas, then pool. Crank, currently, he went Gateway and then gas, so quite similar builds out of both players.
Yeah, but, I mean, Crank isn't blocking off or walling off in the least. if Hendralisk goes for a big push with Lings, he's almost got 100 gas to start his Ling speed. Oh man, I don't know. This could do a lot of damage if Crank doesn't decide to start walling off or putting cannons down.
So far, just one single Zealot coming out of Crank. Nothing too ridiculous. He may decide to just, only send one Zealot to
Here we
to
go.
scout.
We got 6 Lings and Ling speed started. He's going to pull his miners off of gas, get them back on minerals, and he's just going to start pumping Lings here. This is an all-in, I believe.
Lots of Lings in production for Hendralisk.
Now we see that they're going to get scouted en route. This little bit of time that he has might be the most important thing. Don't chase him with the Lings. Just send the Lings across. Don't bother chasing the probe.
Hendralisk is going to chase this probe here. He probably doesn't want a lone pylon to get built in his base, or maybe even a cannon rush.
Yeah, but I feel like he could have just maybe had like one of the Lings chasing. He should have, in my opinion, he should have just taken off right away. Let's see. It looks like he's blocking off his ramp right now. Is he going to have enough time?
Crank is going to try to put up a gateway or maybe a forge here. Another gateway comes down. A third gateway out of Crank.
Okay, and
Mothership
now
core
he's got
here.
a Mothership core.
I really don't foresee this doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, I don't think these Lings are going to get in now. Just from that little bit of time. Now, he did stop his Ling production, so he wasn't as all in as we kind of first assumed. So now at this point, all he really has to do with those Lings is kind of play keep away. He doesn't want Crank to put down a second base. If he can keep Crank off of 2 bases and on 1 base this whole time, he's going to be in a good position.
Looking at the view of Hendralisk here, nothing too ridiculous really coming out of either players. Hendralisk is going to want to keep Crank from expanding as long as he possibly can. Mothership core is going to come over here and prevent these Lings from getting into the main base or into the natural of Crank. Crank's going to eventually want to expand.
Yeah, Crank's going to want to expand, but it's all about just not letting him. I mean, 6 Lings doesn't seem like much, but oh, I thought he was going to be able to take out a probe there. The probe's running back in though, so the probe's not going to get taken out too easy. As long as he keeps preventing this natural, he's in a good position, a very, very strong position.
Crank is continuing to pound out sentries here. Wouldn't be surprised to see maybe an Immortal all-in. He hasn't really revealed too much of his late game tech here.
No, he was forced to build those gateways a little bit earlier than I think he wanted to. But otherwise, you're right. He hasn't really decided what tech he's going. Now he goes in there. He gets 1 probe for the 3 or 4 Lings that were lost. Overall, not too bad. No one's really in a bad position here. I think they're pretty much on even footing. But Crank is really floating the money. How do you feel about all that money he's floating?
Crank is floating about 500 minerals. It is a little unusual, but he has been stuck on 1 base for a while. So.
That's true. Yeah, he's going to probably use that money to saturate his second base up quite fast.
Still no late game tech out of Crank really, so we don't really know much about what his build is here. No. Same with Hendralisk.
And no real tech on either side. They're just kind of getting their stuff set up here. Now here is a
fake
hallucinated oracle. That's interesting.
It may force a drone pull. No reaction at Hendralisk. He's not going to bite the bait. Flying over here into the natural expansion. Throwing down the evolution chambers now. So, not really getting much, nothing more than a simple scout out of Crank.
Sometimes that's all you need is a simple scout. I mean, it was a decoy or a hallucination. I mean, we're seeing pretty good creep spread. I would want Hendralisk to take a third here. If he doesn't take a third soon, he's going even base against a Protoss, and that's not good. Now, Crank is moving out here with quite a few sentries, quite a bit of energy. I don't know. Do you think he's going to be able to make something happen with this?
Still no pylon on the map yet, so I don't feel like Crank is really going to want to go too far with this. He does have a recall and full energy on his Mothership core. Lings are going to run by and try to run into the natural expansion, but there is a Zealot and a sentry there.
It's not going to happen, but, like we were saying, the Lings did run by. He did see what's going on. He's putting down an infestation pit. So is he going to go for a quick hive, or... I don't really see any other layer tech besides infestation pit happening.
Overseer now heading into the main base of Crank. He's probably going to spot that robo where it's actually being built here in the natural expansion. Crank still not really moving too much. I think he's just kind of poking around the map to see what exactly Hendralisk may be doing, what his build may be.
Oh no, he could possibly lose a lot of these sentries right here. I don't know. I feel like the sentries, if used correctly, could probably get on top of all those sentries. Those lings, I mean. But yeah, he's not getting in the base with them. That's for sure.
Hindralisk is going to keep these lings on the map. Try to keep Crank from feeling too safe about leaving his natural behind.
Yeah, so out of Crank, we've got a Robo, a second Robo, I should say. We have our Warp Prism, Charge, and +1. But now out of Hendralisk, look at this. We have 6 Swarm Hosts about to finish, Locust upgrade coming, and the Creep Spread of a God.
The Creep Spread is pretty good for someone who took his natural base a little bit later.
Yeah, but I would like to see him take a third. I don't know how he's going to do this without a third. But he's getting us a Nidus Worm. He's Nidus Worming. Over 80 viewers. Hey, guys, we really appreciate this. Over 80 viewers. That's a win for us.
So, in case you guys haven't noticed, Crank is 1 game away from 3-0ing his second opponent in Starbrawl.
Here it
and
comes.
Now,
the Nidus is real.
Hendralisk is dropping the Nidus, and now there is massive amounts of units that are about to pour over here into Crank's natural expansion. And Crank, he doesn't really have a lot of units at this moment. This army is not built to take on Locusts and Zerglings.
No, and we also see the Locust upgrade is about to finish.
A second Nidus Worm is now about to erupt right here in front of Crank's
he's
main
coming with
base.
the Queens. Do you see the Queens coming with them too? Oh, man.
Tons of Queens coming here, and now this natural expansion is under siege from Hendralisk.
He's got two Colossus coming. Colossus can really kind of cleave through the Swarm Host, but he's also going for a drop at the main base. He's targeting down the lair. All he's got is Swarm Host. Swarm Host can't fight against these.
He needs to transfuse that lair. He needs to transfuse it. He needs to save it. The Locust, it looks like he's going to save it. Excellent play out of Hendralisk. Leaves just enough units to take care of it. Meanwhile, he's still pounding at Crank's natural expansion, and Crank is now completely solidified in his natural expansion. He can't move out.
I think Hendralisk has got this. I don't know what's going to happen. I would like to see Hendralisk put some, cannons. I mean, not cannons. Spines down in his main. Oh no, those Zealots aren't going to get much done.
Warp Prism now heading back into the main of Hendralisk. Couple of Zealots here inside. Probably going to warp in a couple more Zealots. Crank definitely likes his Zealot warp-ins.
Yeah, and they're working so well from Hendralisk. He really needs to put some spines down. He really needs to... Oh no, he's going to lose it! It's going to
go down! Oh! It's not looking good for Hendralisk, guys, and it's looking like this could possibly be a 3-0 for Crank. Hendralisk needs to pull something off here really quick, because the longer we wait, Crank has double Colossus production.
Yeah, double Colossus, they're going to start to rip through. I really wish Hendralisk would have put down that third at some point. He's still making, he's still making Swarm Host, but no third going down. He's rebuilding his natural. Come on, Hendralisk, put down a third. Don't make this an all-in. I feel like if he would have put down a third a couple minutes ago, he would have been able to transition out of this.
So Hendralisk is probably going to want to keep these Swarm Hosts out front just to kind of keep Crank from coming out and taking a third.
We see that Warp Prism, though. That Warp Prism is about to make a play. Can he take out the only base remaining?
This is the only mining base left for Hendralisk, and right now it doesn't look like there are really that many units around here. Hendralisk is going to pull all of his Queens back to deal with these Zealots.
I feel like he shouldn't lose a Queen with all his transfuses.
Again, we want to thank all 88 viewers for tuning in tonight. If you haven't already, go down below and donate to the prize pool.
Please donate, subscribe. Like I said, if you can't subscribe, donate. If you can't donate, subscribe. If you can't do either, just share our link. That's all.
Follow us on Twitter. Every one of you, we want to hear from you. We want to hear feedback. We want to hear new ideas. Please, follow us on Twitter. We appreciate it.
Yeah, but, I mean, Morbox, let's look at the amount of Colossus that are actually out there right now. I don't see any way Hendralisk is coming back from this. Okay, they're going to start walking out. Crank is going to start walking out with his Colossi into these Swarm Hosts.
Hendralisk needs to get these Swarm Hosts out of here. He doesn't want to put them in the Nidus. Now, but at the same time, there's tons of Zealots being warped in here. And I just don't see Hendralisk, how he's going to be able to hold this. He does have a few spines. Meanwhile, there's still a fight over here in front of the natural of Crank's base. Going to take out this Nidus Worm here.
I don't know. I mean, he did stop the drops from happening. You know, that Warp Prism's done. He's got 2 bases, but he still hasn't taken a third. I hate to say it, guys. I hate to say it, but I think Hendralisk might be out of the game here.
Hendralisk is on 2 bases along with Crank, but you know, as a Zerg player, you never want to have the same amount of bases as your Protoss opponent.
You always want to be up in bases. That is for sure. I mean, he's got a strong army in these swarm hosts here, but the locusts are just getting utterly evaporated. They're not even really standing a chance.
Lots of locusts. We can say that for sure. More swarm hosts still on the way. He's keeping Crank from putting down a third. So if eventually Hendralisk can get his own third down, which I personally don't see that happening
but
now.
Crank is sending across the Stalkers, and he's got a Warp Prism with the Stalkers. Oh man, Hendralisk gets supply blocked. He's not going to build anything else. He's so supply blocked.
All of Hendralisk's army is in front of Crank's natural expansion, and all these queens are getting bottlenecked here. He may be able to hold this with all the queens that he does have. He is doing decent transfuses. It looks like Crank is going to be forced to back away here. Not really going to do too much damage. Oh, and a little bit of sloppy play out of Crank, losing a few Stalkers to Locusts. And now we're looking at Hendralisk. He's 146 supply to 127.
I feel like he's too invested. Oh,
but
no.
Look at this surround.
Oh, no, there's no Nidus Worm.
GG!
Oh, GG, guys.
3-0. Crank goes 3-0 in the second Starbrawl. And it's his second 3-0. He's now 6-0 in maps. He's undefeated. Axiom Esports Crank takes the second Starbrawl.
Wow. I cannot say enough how much I appreciate you guys joining us for this upset. I did not expect that to happen. I did not expect that to happen at all. The drops were real.
You guys saw it. There were so many Zealots in Hendralisk's main base. It was never ending. The Swarm Host play was a little cool with the double Nidus play, but overall, Hendralisk lost 3-0. And now Crank is 6-0, completely undefeated. And the next player, you never know. Crank may go for another 3-0.
I want to say again, guys, sorry for anyone that's just now kind of viewing that you might have missed all the fun action. We're going to have VODs going up, so we do make recordings, so that's important. Guys, if you don't know, we do a YouTube after every Starbrawl. It's going to be our highlights and our favorite, plays. So be sure to watch that. We're going to have that posted in the next couple days. Follow us if you can. Everyone, let's hear it for our current and remaining champion, Crank.
So please, if you can, go on Twitter, congratulate Crank. He just took himself another $40, and now, well, he's now 2-0 in Starbrawl wins. The next Starbrawl will be next month. It is a monthly tournament, and it is still a best of 5. You have any final thoughts, really, on what Hendralisk could have done to really pull himself back into the game?
I don't even know what to say, man. I probably would say that second game, he should have canceled that hatchery. He tried to defend it. It didn't really work, You can just keep building more cannons and cancel the ones that he doesn't need. So, I think he probably shouldn't have fought there. That third game, he went for an interesting, infestation pit and early swarm host. And even our chat is saying here, swarm hosts that early on that map don't really work. And I kind of agree with that. But otherwise, man, that was just some great games.
Just wanted to give a couple shout-outs here for everyone who just stayed with us. Angel Avenger, L, thank you for tuning in. Marshall with Meza, thank you for tuning in. Neon Bandicoot, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting Crank. Blue Eye Rye, thank you for tuning in. Everyone who followed us today on Twitter.
Yeah, Axiom for the win. We really appreciate the questions. Guys, get into contact with us if you want some coaching, like we were saying, below Plat League. If you want someone to watch your replays, you have ideas, things that we can improve on, things that we can do, players you want to see in the show matches, let us know. We're here to help. We are the community putting on community events.
Exactly, we are the community. We're just like you guys, but one day we decided, we want to cast StarCraft 2 games, and we want to stream it, and we want to actually put money into the scene. I'm taking $60 of Team Banished's own money, and I'm putting it towards the players. So if you guys can ever feel free to donate at the bottom, or just follow us on Twitter. I know I've been plugging it all night, but we really appreciate every single follower we get.
Well, there you have it, though. We have our Crank 6-0 current champ. The cannons are real. Hashtag the cannons are real. Guys, go on our Twitter right now. Hashtag the cannons are real.
Crank proves himself quite an opponent. He takes on his next opponent next month. Please tune in. Please follow us. Have a good night.
Oh, last question here. Axiom for the win. Do you guys ever host a local barcraft for DreamHack or WCS or something? No, we have not ever done anything like that. But I'm pretty much open to any kind of events. Putting on any kind of things with the community. It's possible. So get in contact with us, especially if we're local. Right now we're in Florida, so we'd be more than happy to, if you're in the area, I would be more than happy to meet with any fans, any players, to kind of get together, drink some beers, and watch some StarCraft.
Another thing, we plugged it before, the Team Banished NA channel. If you guys are ever online on the NA and you just want to talk to someone, you want to play games, or you just want to talk about StarCraft or future events that we do all the time, go to Team Banished on NA. We'll be more than happy to have a conversation with you, talk about anything you like.
Yeah, you'll possibly see the pros in there during the show matches. They kind of cycle in and out. That would just be more to kind of get you in communication with us, get you in communication with other fellow players that are interested in the same thing that we are.
All right, guys. We appreciate everyone tuning in. You guys have a very great night and a good tomorrow.